Scott, I guess I'll lead it off. Red zone offense. A bunch of teams in the Big Ten are struggling with that this year, yours included. So what's kind of what's the keys to success when you get down in that part of the field?
I think you just got to be able to run base stuff and get it in. You have to be able to block. Just speaking for us, I can't speak for everybody. Our basic stuff has to be a little better so we get more yards on just our basic stuff. It just means we need to block a little better, run a little better. You always go into game with some schemes to try to scheme something into the end zone. Obviously, there was a 9 overtime game in the league. I don't think you ever have enough for something like that. But you can't have 20 of those, or you're wasting a lot of time practicing on that. So I think really it comes down to just being efficient in what you do and being a little better at it. There's good defenses in the league, though. I mean,
you talked some last week about just sort of your setup for the bye week. What did you think of your guys when you got them back today, and how much of a jump did you get on Purdue then over the last couple of days of the staff?
Yeah, as a staff, we got a lot of time to watch them. Obviously, then we watched the Wisconsin game yesterday several times, and it helps. Thought the guys had more of a spring in their step again. They were a little worn down and tired. That's natural with 8 straight weeks and starting a week early. So I think it was good for our guys just to get refreshed.
How are you feeling after the bye week?
Refreshed. Got some rest. Excited to get back after it.
The 9 overtime games. What do you think of that new rule where you switch to 2-point conversions after the third one?
It made for an interesting game. I had anxiety watching that game. You'd run out of things to call. They both good teams, and somebody had to win and somebody had to lose. They're trying to shorten a game, and they got a 9 overtime game, but that's the rules. It was good for us as a coaching staff to see that, just to make sure we can be ready for it.
How's Adrian coming off the bye?
He's good. He's gonna be 100%. He's been dealing with quite a bit of stuff and fighting through stuff, and he's a warrior for doing it. He'll be full go.
Purdue's a team that tests the secondary. What's status, if you can say, with Deontay this week, or just how do you battle them with your secondary being perhaps down in them?
Yeah, Deontay will be back this season. I don't know when. You always want to have everybody up when you're playing a team like this. They're going to throw a lot of stuff at you. You have to be ready. You have to be disciplined, and they got some good players everywhere, but definitely a receiver that can beat you. So we got to have eyes on him, and got to cover well and try to get to the quarterback. I think Purdue would have had a good chance Saturday. I think they turned it over 5 times. It's hard to win that way. So I don't expect that we'll get that same effort from them. Expect them to come in ready to go, and another good Big Ten team that'll be a battle.
How impressive was that performance they had against Iowa 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, there's a lot of good teams in the league, and I think any week any team can win. It usually comes down to a few plays here and there. Purdue made the plays in that game for sure. Bell made a lot of those plays, and everything just kind of went the right way for them that day. They played a heck of a game. We got to expect that Purdue team to come in here.
You guys have obviously faced talented players of all kinds, but you're on a run here where I think 4 in a row, if you include Ohio State next week, face a really talented pass rusher. I guess just generally speaking, what does George Karlaftis do well, and how much pressure can a guy like that put on an offense and a play caller?
He's a good player. He's one of the better players that we've played. I think he's got good guys around him too. Across the board, I think they're good pass rushers. Really impressed with their Sam linebacker, number 6. They're a good defense. They've really become one of the better defenses in the league, in my opinion, watching them on tape. You got to know where Karlaftis is all the time and account for him, and we got to battle and do the best we can.
How's Mark Buford progressed? I know he's a prep school freshman, but how has he progressed? He may get a chance to play a little bit more.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's one of those kids that came in mature and ready to attack. I always say that's the mark of a freshman that's going to play early isn't necessarily talent. It's how quickly they grow up and become adults and good teammates and do little things right. And he came in that way. So excited about him right now and in the future.
Casey Rogers said that Brant Banks was back in practice today. How does he look, and what role might he play for you guys on the stretch?
Yeah, Brant's back. That's good. Always good to have more guys that have played and can do it. So we'll see where he factors in going down the stretch.
With a guy like Thomas Fedoni, as he comes back and gets some of the rust off of practice and all that, do you, ideally for him, do you try to prescribe like a situation where maybe you can get him in, or do you throw him back in the mix and say, hey, if you can, get back in our rotation for a couple games?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Thomas. He's still shaking a little bit of rust off. He's missed a lot of reps in some of the stuff we're doing. When he's ready to play and gives us as good or better chance to win as the other guys, he'll be out there. So he's got a really bright future, and we'll see how quick that comes.
How much ground did you guys cover on the recruiting trail, and what kind of feedback did you get being out on the road for the first time in a long time?
Yeah, it's great. How many days did you say it was?
Like over 620 days.
620 days. All the coaches hit the road. I went to high school in a game. The response was awesome. I was just talking to Barrett Root about this morning, and he's stuck mostly local during recruiting, but the response they got from coaches and administrators and students, I think people are enjoying watching this team. I think they're proud of this team. We got to get it over the hump, but I was really encouraged to hear the response and reaction that coaches said they got on the road, and really tough recruiting without being able to go out and evaluate and go out and get in front of coaches and get into high school. So we needed this, and it's a good first step.
Is it reassuring, knowing that the results, win losses haven't been there, but yet you guys go out in all different ways and you're getting positive feedback? It's gotta be.
Yeah, that's encouraging. We beat ourselves up pretty bad. We've come up, just an inch short too many times. But when I look at it, the progress is obvious. The team's playing hard. We're playing more physical. We're bigger, faster, stronger. There's some areas we need to fix. But I think people are recognizing the type of team we have and the level we're playing at, and it's up to us to make the plays when it counts to get it over the hump.
Is there a mental hurdle that you feel like that your team has to clear? It feels like you can see around the corner, and it's almost like bringing them around the corner with you. Is there a last mental hurdle you'd like to see them clear before they become the team you think they can be?
Yes, and I think that's pretty accurate. Human beings are habitual, and when you're used to winning, I think winning comes a little easier. When you're not there yet, I think it's a little harder, and maybe you're waiting on it to happen instead of making it happen. And I do think that little bit of extra confidence or just knowing it's going to happen rather than hoping could probably take us the next step. So we're trying to be as psychological with the guys as we can, but they believe how good a team they are. Now it's just a matter of making the play when it counts and when it matters the most.
You're a pretty even-keeled guy. Do you ever are you tempted to push the mad button ever with them, or do you feel like that would be? Does that make sense?
I'm tempted in here sometimes. No, we don't let you guys into practice for a lot of reasons. That's one of them, because we do hit the mad button sometimes. I hit it on Wednesday. I put them in a lot of situations Wednesday with simulating the game on the line just to try to help them experience that even more. Not that we haven't done that before, but just continue to try to put them in competitive situations. This one matters. Can we count on you when it counts? We did a lot of really good things. We did a couple dumb things, and I wasn't happy about it. So there's a time and a place for that. And certain coaches we have on staff are better at hitting the mad button than others. But they're getting the players to play hard. This team believes how good they are, and we got another really good opponent coming in here, so we get another chance.
There's a certain former head coach here, who used to save his hour for game day, like get right on the field right at that moment. You find that to be unproductive to get to lose it at that moment during the battle?
Yeah, I think in general, I don't want to comment on anybody before me, but I think in general a team takes on the characteristics of its leaders. Leaders that are players, leaders that are position coaches, and leaders that are head coaches. And if leaders aren't staying cool, then it's hard for the team to stay cool. So I think game day is the time you should feel confident in the preparation. You should feel ready, and that's probably when you should be your calmest while being really fired up to play. Appreciate it, guys.